Will Pokemon be at the Nintendo Direct this week? I don't think so. That's what we were talking about today on Bros and Badges. Welcome back. Yes, I am Zach. What am I talking about? The Nintendo Direct that is rumored for this week, heavily by Nate the Hate. If you guys don't know who Nate the Hate is, he's basically the most reliable leaker of all time that's still around. And a lot of other people have jumped on the bandwagon as well, saying, yes, I have heard the same news from my sources, which really just means that they all trust Nate the Hate, as do I. So yeah, I think a Nintendo Direct is coming. Based on when you watch this video, it might already be out. And this video might have aged like fine wine or like spoiled milk. I don't really care. Either way, I don't think Pokemon is going to be at this Nintendo Direct. I'm speaking fast, sorry. The reason I think that it won't be there is because we already had a big Pokemon Presents in February where they blew out a bunch of stuff. They told us about Winds and Waves. They told us about Pokopia. They told us about Champions. They gave us a lot of updates, information, yada, yada, yada. But we have not had that same big juicy nugget of wisdom from Nintendo, which is why we are expecting to see, yes, a big Direct this week talking about potentially that Legend of Zelda rumor, the Ocarina of Time remake, and a bunch of other stuff. I'm not going to dive too much into that today, but I do think a Pokemon Presents may be following that within the next few months. You know, by the end of September, I do think we will get a Pokemon Presents, but I don't think we're going to see Pokemon in this Direct. That said, if we do see Pokemon in the Direct, these are the things I expect would actually be there. I think they could talk more about Pokemon Champions since it is coming to mobile June 17th, as has been recently announced, as we figured it would be coming this month. Or they could also give us some Pokopia DLC information, because I do think Pokopia DLC is coming at the end of this year or early next year. So yes, if Pokemon is at the Direct, I think those are things they will go over. There's a small chance they could also highlight a new game, such as a Pokken Tournament 2 or something third-party related. Not third-party, but one of those spin-off games, you know, that they're working with a third-party company on. I don't think we're going to see any Winds and Waves content in the Nintendo Direct. I just don't see it happening. They already gave us info on that game, and that game is still a ways out, which is why I don't think we will see it again until at least September. But what do you all think? Do you think that there will be Pokemon content in the Nintendo Direct? Do you think we'll be getting a Pokemon Presents anytime soon? Or are they going to wait till closer to Pokemon Worlds, August, September, to give us the goods, to give us the details? Thank you all so much for watching. Let us know in the comments what you think, and if you think Pokemon will be in the Direct. Also, based on when you watch this, it might already be out. So, again, this video might have aged very well. It might not have. It's just me today. Joe is busy, and I also have a huge kink in my neck, so I'm not going to be putting a lot of B-roll into this video. That said, if you have stuck around to the end, I will now give you a few things that I hope are in the Nintendo Direct, just as a little bonus. I do think that we will see this Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time remake. I think we're going to see a lot of third-party support. I would be kind of surprised if we don't see an update on the Duskbloods. I'm very excited about that. I also think since there was a recent, announcement of Final Fantasy VII, the Revelations trailer, I think we could see that also in this Nintendo Direct. I think there's going to be one other big game, either a Luigi's Mansion 4 or potentially that long-rumored 3D Mario game. I think one of those two could show up in the Direct as well. I don't think the 3D Mario game would be coming out this year. If they do show it in the Direct, I don't really think it's going to come out till next year, which is why I'm leaning towards the 3D Mario. If they do announce it this year, probably won't be till the September Direct. Again, I do think Luigi's Mansion could be a big contender for this year. I think there will be one more big game besides, the Ocarina of Time remake, but I also wouldn't be incredibly surprised if we were all a little bit disappointed and all of these big high hopes and expectations that we think just aren't going to be there. We already know about Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave coming. I think they could give us a little bit more information on that. There's going to be a ton of indie games, things that they show off. Like I said, there is a small potential that we'll see something Pokemon related, but I'm not really going out on a limb here. I don't think that there's going to be anything too crazy at this Direct. I don't think we're getting a new Metroid this year. I don't think we're getting, I really don't think 3D Mario's coming this year. I don't think we're going to get some giant massive game. They've already detailed a lot of this year, so realistically whatever they show in this Direct is just going to give us those next few months. Last year wasn't as stacked as everybody was thinking it was going to be. Yes, there were some great games, but it wasn't as stacked as a lot of people hyped it up to be, and so I'm just trying to keep my expectations in check. But again, what do you guys think is going to be in this Nintendo Direct? Did you even think it's happening? Again, if you watch this past Monday, it probably is already out because everybody thinks it's coming Tuesday or later in the week. But anyway, guys, let us know what you think in the comments below. I have been Zach from Bros and Badges, and we will see you all on the next podcast. Peace.